I woke up in the middle of the night, desperate for water, when my doorbell started ringing. Not once, but over and over again. I am completely alone. No husband, no family, no one. My name is Rebecca. I am 38 years old. For 6 months, I have been a widow. My life is very hard. My husband, Thomas, died and left me alone. The bank is breathing down my neck. Every day they send letters. Every day they call my phone. They want my house. They want to take away the only living memory I have of the man I loved. My mother tells me the same thing every day. Rebecca, move on. Get over it. You are young. But life is not that simple. I cannot just move on. I am carrying my dead husband's child. Inside me, a small life is growing. I am 3 months pregnant. I have to protect this baby. This child is my chance at happiness. After a month of searching and crying, I finally got a job as a teacher. It is very difficult to get hired when you are pregnant, but I hit my stomach. I needed the paycheck. But the money was never enough. My health was going down. I was always stressed. One evening, I got home very late from school. I was exhausted. I went to the kitchen and cooked 2 eggs. I ate them in silence, looking at Thomas's empty chair. I went to bed and fell asleep immediately. At 3 a.m., I woke up. My throat was dry. I was very thirsty. I stood up to get a glass of water. But suddenly, the doorbell started ringing. My heart dropped. It felt like a drum in my chest. No one comes to a widow's house at 3 a.m. I was terrified. Was it a thief? Was it the bank coming to kick me out in the middle of the night? I went to the window and moved the curtain a tiny bit. A man was standing there. He was very tall. He wore a long coat. He was looking directly at my window. I walked to the front door. My legs felt like jelly. I opened the door just a little. The man looked up at me. My whole body stopped. I couldn't breathe. I screamed so loudly that my throat hurt. It was Thomas, the same eyes, the same face, the same tall body. Thomas! I gasped. The man moved fast. He was panicked. He gently covered my mouth with his hand and pushed me inside the house. He locked the door behind us. Thomas! I screamed again. Is it you? Did you come back for the baby? The man smiled gently. It was a beautiful smile, but it was not Thomas's smile. Oh, my little poor Rebecca, he whispered. How do you still dream about your dead husband? It is a shame that my brother never mentioned me to you. Brother? I whispered. I am Julian, he said, Thomas's twin, and I am here because my brother owed a lot of people a lot of money. Julian looked exactly like my husband, but his energy was different. Thomas was quiet. Julian was like a fire. I am here to settle the debt, Rebecca, Julian said. He looked at my small kitchen. The bank, the creditors. I will pay them all. You can keep the house for the baby. Why? Why help me now? I asked. He stepped closer. He smelled like wood and rain. My heart was confused. My body wanted to lean into him because he looked like my husband, but my brain said danger. Well, Julian said, looking at me from head to toe, maybe I want to take away your loneliness. He walked past me. He didn't ask where to sleep. He walked straight into the bedroom next to mine. He stopped at the door and looked back. You could join me if you want, he said with an unsettling smile. I stood in the hallway, holding my stomach. I was helpless. I hated him, but I needed the money. If I kicked him out, the bank would take my house tomorrow. The next few weeks were a challenge. Every morning was a battle. I would wake up early for work, but Julian was always in the washroom. He would stay there for hours, shaving and singing. Julian, I am a teacher. I have to go, I would shout. He would open the door. He looked so much like Thomas that my eyes filled with tears. Don't be angry, wifey, he would laugh. It's bad for the baby. One morning, I was making tea. I felt very sick, morning sickness. Suddenly, Julian came from behind and hugged me. He put his hands on my stomach. For 5 seconds, I closed my eyes. I leaned my head back against his chest. I really thought it was Thomas. I felt the love I had missed for 6 months. I felt a spark of heat. Then I remembered. I pushed him away. Don't ever touch me again, I shouted. You are a stranger. Julian didn't look sorry. He just ate a piece of my toast. You have to keep up the act, Rebecca. If the neighbors see us, they must think I am your husband. Or do you want them to think you have a new man already? I was completely annoyed. I was trapped in a house with a ghost who wasn't a ghost. One night, the stress became too much. I came home with a high fever. My body was boiling. I collapsed on the sofa, crying. My head felt like it was exploding. Julian didn't make a joke this time. He was serious. He picked me up in his arms. He was very strong. He carried me to my bedroom and laid me down gently. I have got you, he whispered. He went to the kitchen and brought a bowl of ice water. For hours he sat by my bed. He wiped my forehead again and again. Every time I woke up shivering, he was there. He held my hand until the fever went down. In that moment, I saw a different man. Julian, I whispered in the dark, why are you doing this? He looked at me for a long time. Because Thomas was a fool, Rebecca. He had a queen, and he treated her like a servant. I want to show you what a real man does. In that moment, I felt a dangerous attraction. I was falling for the shadow of my husband. By the end of the month, I was happy. The bank stopped calling. The debt was paid. Julian made me breakfast every morning. I started to think maybe we could be a family. Maybe my baby could have a father who looked like Thomas but acted like Julian. But the truth is a cold thing. One evening, I came home early. I heard Julian talking on the phone in the living room. He didn't see me. Yes, Julian said into the phone. He was laughing. She believes everything. She thinks I paid the bank. She doesn't know I just bought the debt from them. Now I own the house. When the baby is born, I will sell the house and leave. She has nowhere to go. My heart broke into 1,000 pieces. He didn't settle the debt. He became the debt. He didn't care about me or the baby. He wanted the house. He wanted to win against his dead brother. I didn't say a word. I walked back out the door. I stood in the rain, holding my stomach. I realized that the man in my house was not a miracle. He was just a more beautiful monster than Thomas.